All right, we're back. We're live. We should be live on YouTube now. So appreciate you guys all tuning in. Yep, we're live on YouTube. We're good. All right, so we just got done talking about James Franklin, small game James, and where he would be a best fit at. We thought, I mean, Auburn would be a great fit. Florida State. Where would he not be a great fit at? I mean, UCLA and Stanford. Like, if this
LSU. I
would
don't
he be a
think I
worse
don't
fit than Brian Kelly?
maybe
Whew.
maybe like I don't know maybe, but I don't think the LSU fans would want to go from Brian Kelly to James Franklin. So I got that would
No,
not be
if Brian
yeah, that
Kelly's
wouldn't work.
gone, like they will demand
Yeah.
someone better.
Yeah, that would not work. Uh so yeah, I don't know, man, but the coaching carousel right now is just it's completely out of control. And for those, I've seen articles written in the past that talk about like the most powerful man in college football is Jimmy Sexton. I heard an interview with Joel Klatt the other day on a show there in Alabama called The Next Round, the old Jocks Roundtable, and he's on there as a guest every week. He does a good interview with them every week, talking about the previous weekend's games and just overall different topics around college football. And he was talking about all the firings around college football, and he said, "I honestly I don't disagree with him." And then he said that some of these jobs now, because of all of the things created through social media and the media and like the fan bases just like lose their minds on a coach, and they completely like some of these athletic directors, like none of them are good businessmen, and they don't have any like experience really with like negotiating like major business type contracts and whatnot, and they get fleeced by these agents. That's why you see these ridiculous buyouts, that like just ridiculous buyouts for some of these coaches. You see these coaches like Luke Fickle. Didn't Luke Fickle get a freaking extension last year, if I'm not mistaken? Like I'm pretty sure it came across that
Yeah,
like he got like an extension last year. Like
it might
that's
have.
what I'm yeah, that's what I'm talking about though. Like coaches like that will get extensions for what? And like the main one he used an example for now was Mike Norvell. So the rumor that got floated on social media was that Alabama was going to go after Mike Norvell after Saban retired. Like there was a list of coaches that rumors that Alabama and AD Greg Byrne was going after. And it is now confirmed that there were only 3 coaches that got a call. Not necessarily offers, but a call. Steve Sarkisian, Dan Lanning, and Kalen DeBoer. That's it. But again, Jimmy Sexton represents all of these dudes. He represented Saban at the
Hmm.
time too. What's stopping Jimmy Sexton to like tell Greg Byrne or whoever, tell somebody to be like, hey, can you just float my guy's name here just so we can get him a little more money in his current situation, get him a little bit of an extension? Like that stuff goes on. Absolutely. And that's
Yeah,
what Klatt was talking about. That was going on. So point being is they just go to the AD or whoever's in charge here at Florida State, coming off an undefeated season at that time, undefeated regular season at that time, and won the ACC championship, and saying that, hey, Alabama's really wanting Mike here, and we're going to be offering this. Like, you better up the ante. Coming off an undefeated season, what does Florida State do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily blame them, but at some point, some of these athletic directors and some of these groups are going to have to look at these coaches and call their bluff. Be like, hey, we'd love to have you here. We want to keep you here. But if that's where you want to go, good. We wish you luck.
yeah,
And don't give them a freaking 7-year extension with a buyout that would break your entire athletic department. And then all of a sudden that coach goes 2-10 the next year, and he hasn't won an ACC game since his new contract that you gave him.
yeah.
That's going to continue. So yeah, Jimmy Sexton's got college football by the
You know what?
yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
All right, man. Let's talk some ball.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's week 8. Week 8's just passed. So it's week 9. We've got what, a month and a half left in the season here. Then conference championship games. Like here in
Flies
2
by.
weeks, we're going live with our live rapid reaction to the college football playoff rankings, usually on X, YouTube, all that stuff. I don't know if we'll make TikTok this time, but X and YouTube will be live on there. And we just kind of give rapid reaction. It was very entertaining last year, especially that final Sunday when Alabama was the first team out for our boy here. Let's go through conference by conference. I mean, I kind of like did some digging like with Sagarin and Kelly Ford, like I talked about earlier, and got their percentage to win, at least 10 games, 11 games, like however much it's going to take to get them to playoffs.
Yep.
ACC is kind of pretty self-explanatory. Like right now, Georgia Tech, they got a 69% chance to get at least 10 wins, which means they lose one conference game and they'll lose to Georgia at the end of the season. That gets them in the ACC championship game. Miami has a 38% chance to win out the rest of their games, which is crazy if you think about their games. With Pitt being a tough game on the road,
At SMU.
SMU, Virginia Tech, you never know what they're going to be like, but they got them on the road.
The scheduling dynamic, man, we've talked about it so much. The scheduling dynamics for Miami is the problem there. It's when they go to Pitt last game of the year, that's their 7th straight week of playing a game because they had that stupid bye week deal where they had a bye week. Was it a bye week before Florida State and then a bye week after Florida State? I think that's what it was. I'm pretty positive.
It was a bye week before and after Florida State.
Yeah, so I'm saying, bye week before Florida State, and then they played Florida State, and they had another bye week. And then they played Louisville and lost. Now they're going to have 7 straight games the rest of the 7 straight weeks, counting the Louisville game. And then if they win that, if they go through that unscathed, their 8th straight game in a row will be in another cold weather environment game in the ACC championship game in Charlotte. So they're going to play back-to-back road games to end the year in cold weather environments in Blacksburg and in Pitt. And then if they're in the ACC championship game, their 3rd game on the East Coast in cold weather away from Miami. Like, bro, that's tough. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
And so like it's while Miami is the most talented team there, the scheduling dynamics there could get interesting. And I know we'll move on to some other teams, but they're the team that we can circle back on this in a minute, that out of the ACC, that if they were to go 10-2 because of their non-conference, playing South Florida, playing Notre Dame, that if they were to go 10-2, they could knock out some other teams from other conferences because of what they did in the non-conference. No doubt that could happen.
And they do have an 80% chance to get at least 10 wins.
Yeah, I mean, dude, think about it. I mean, yeah, could they lose at SMU and at Pitt? Sure, that could happen. Is that likely to happen? They lose both of them? I don't think so. So I don't know how Miami's going to finish worse than 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
They still got a great chance to go 11-1. But the key to that would be if they finish 10-2, Tyler, and they do make the ACC championship game, and they happen to lose that and get a 3rd loss. That would be where it would get dicey for them. But if they lose in 2 more games, if they lose 1 more game, I don't know that they would be in the ACC championship game with all the stuff that's going on around them. Especially, like, talk about the next team, about Louisville that just beat them.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't go because, I mean, SMU right now is undefeated, and SMU has a 42% chance to go 7-1 in conference, which would get them in the championship game. Louisville, has a good chance of going 6-2, 68% chance. UVA has actually a better chance of going 6-2 in conference than Louisville does. 87% chance of getting 6 wins.
Yeah, UVA and God, who else was it in the ACC? UVA was kind of like how SMU schedule was last year, where they don't play. There's somebody else in the ACC too. Georgia Tech. Like Georgia Tech doesn't play. Like Georgia Tech, last year SMU, like when you looked at the top 4 or 5 teams in the ACC, SMU didn't play any of them in the regular season. They didn't play Miami in the regular season. They didn't play Clemson in the regular season. Like they did play Louisville in the regular season last year, but like Georgia Tech this year, they don't play Louisville. They don't play Miami. They don't play. Do they play Virginia?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think they play Virginia. So, like, of the top 4 or 5 teams that are in the ACC right now, there are they don't play any other of the top teams.
Yeah.
They're one of them. They don't play any of the other ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Georgia Tech's another one. Like, they would have to really stub their toe to not make the ACC championship game at this point.
Let's get back to Miami later. Big 12, Texas Tech is going to be favored in the rest of their games. They got a 46% chance to get at least 11 wins. So go 8-1 in conference, make the title game. It gets interesting with BYU and Utah and Cincinnati.
Dude, BYU's got a tough road down the stretch, man.
If they all were to finish with 2 conference losses, though, Utah would actually, let me see this. BYU, let's give BYU another win there. Utah would get the nod over BYU and Cincinnati based on conference opponent win percentage. So based on playing that tougher schedule.
Yeah.
So your preseason prediction of Texas Tech and Utah would come true. Utah's got a lesser chance at finishing at 7-2 in conference than BYU does, and
Because they've
then
already got 2
Cincinnati does.
losses. Yeah, BYU doesn't have
Yeah.
any losses yet in conference, and
Yeah.
Utah's already got 2 losses
Yeah.
in conference. But, dude, BYU's got a rough stretch, dude, coming down the stretch. They got to go to Texas Tech. They play at Iowa State coming off a bye this week. We've already talked about that. That was a best bet that we both made already. Iowa State -2.5 this week. Back-to-back road losses, coming back home.
You know what's crazy, though? K Ford's got them 55% chance to win Iowa State, which they're underdogs in. So, I mean, if you trust the K Ford ratings, go bet BYU right now. And he's got him a 25% chance to win at Texas Tech. We'll give him that. And they got a road game at Cincinnati for like the second to last week of the season. He's got a 56% chance to win. So they are creeping up in his power ratings for sure.
Yeah, and then as you saw up everybody's rankings in the All Podcasters poll and in the AP poll, like they're creeping up the rankings everywhere. Which again, good football team.
Ratings, not rankings.
Ratings, got it. Yeah, Kalani Sitake's bunch. Me again, just Mr. Consistent, man. Just a hell of a football coach.
All right, so give me this. I'm firing off the dome here. 11-1, Texas Tech plays Utah, for instance, in the championship game, and Utah wins. Texas Tech goes 11-2. Are they in? It's almost the same exact scenario as SMU Clemson last year. And I would argue this Texas Tech team is better than that SMU team.
Oh,
we talked about it. Like, they dropped in the rankings, down to 14 in the AP poll. Like, we probably should have rethought that a little bit. Like, they play with their backup quarterback. Like,
yeah, and he's solid, but still, it's their backup.
Yeah.
Like, how many teams are going to go on the road against a really good football team like Arizona State?
Yeah,
with their backup quarterback and still win.
So a lot of teams that are 9-3, 10-2 out there in kind of the Big Two conferences, like they want Texas Tech to run the table. They want Miami to run the table. They want those two to be the ACC and the Big 12 champions.
Yeah, man. Honestly, they might. It just depends on what goes on around them. But if you're going to get multiple teams in, like it's hard for me right now as we sit here today to project that 2 teams from the Big 12 and 2 teams from the ACC would get in. And then, like, as we sit here today, going into this Week 9 slate, but it's all if Texas Tech were to go 11-2, 11-1 regular season, it'd be tough, man, to leave them out.
And I mean, same with Miami. They go 11-1, they lose to Georgia Tech. Well, Miami's getting in for sure, 11-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miami is for sure, but they're not. They should with their non-conference schedule. Maybe that is where maybe Texas Tech is absolutely good enough with their roster, with that defensive line that they've got, and the overall talent, and like the power ratings and all the nerdy metrics that you want to look at would tell you that. But maybe that absolute cupcake of a non-conference schedule that they played would come back to bite them in that scenario. Maybe. That's interesting to see, though. I mean, as wild as the Big 12 is, it's just crazy as we're sitting here right now. Like you just mentioned, BYU's undefeated, just beat Utah. But with BYU's schedule that they've got coming up, if all those teams lumped in together finished with 2 losses, how it would be Utah that would be the one to go.
Yeah.
If that was the case. Wouldn't be happy if I was a
Um,
BYU fan in that scenario.
yeah. So yeah, they want to hope that Cincinnati and Arizona State fall out of that pack because those are the other two teams I had here that could finish 7-2. Cincinnati with a 45% chance of finishing 7-2, and Arizona State with a 38% chance at finishing 7-2 in conference. This is where we get. I mean, March Madness. We from February on, at least maybe January on, we start looking at the bubble watch. ESPN bubble
Oh,
watch
yeah.
comes out. This is where you talk about it, man. Like bubble watch will come into effect. Like those teams on the bubble, and we're going to get to them here in a second with SEC and Big Ten teams that are going to be 10-2 and maybe even 9-3. And you never know what the committee's going to do, like we saw last year. Like so, it's fascinating stuff here. Big Ten. Um, right now, I think you can pencil in, not pin. Don't use pin yet. Pencil in Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon.
Definitely Ohio State, Indiana. Like pencil in definitely Ohio State and Indiana. I would imagine here's my question, okay? This is where the old I guess the fun arguments, or some people would say it's not fun to have, but the good debates and arguments start to have. Okay, let's say Oregon goes 10-2. What are they hanging their hat on, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, what are they hanging their hat on to get in the playoffs if that happens?
I'm gonna bring it up here. They've got obviously a win over Penn State. Like, I heard Pate today talking about he's not going to hold that against them. The fact that Penn State just completely crumbled after the fact. He's still going to give them, credit for a good win there. Other than that, I mean, their best win would either be on the road at Iowa, on the road at Wash. I mean, they do have a tough last four games, like other than Minnesota. Like they got road games at Iowa, which will be tricky, just like that Wisconsin
Yeah,
spot last year for them,
yeah,
where they
yeah.
were just asleep at the wheel. Washington's always going to be crazy. It gets a border war, and Washington plays so good at home. And then they get USC at home, who's the 10th rated power team right now, and K Ford. So they do have three of the last four games are pretty tough, but we'll see what that does to the strength of record and strength of schedule and how that fluctuates into once they actually play those games, because you got to get credit for playing the games. So
Do I think that Oregon is one of the 12 best teams in college football as we stand here today? Yes, I do. But if they finish the season 10-2, I do not think that they are an absolute, like, penciled in, like, depending on what happens around them type deal.
they got an
Uh,
82% chance to get at least 10 wins.
yeah, again, I was just here today. I would imagine that they'll be 10-2 or better. But if they are 10-2, I don't know that they're just 1,000,000%. I just don't. They probably will get in, but yeah,
Yeah.
in that scenario. But it's just crazy as we see here today that Indiana, like, they would, even if they finish, if they lose, I don't see them losing 2 games down the stretch. But if they were, they're always going to have, man, that win at Oregon in Autzen
Hmm.
Stadium in their back pocket to fall back on. So
Yep.
they would have to have some catastrophic injuries at this point to not make it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana has a 61% chance to win out, and Ohio State has a 65% chance to win out.
It's crazy, man. Like, before the season started, would you look at Indiana's schedule at this point, because they've still got Penn State left on the
I
schedule, and
I
you
thought
wouldn't
I
have
was
thought that before the
respecting
season.
them. I thought I was respecting them, predicting them to go 9-3 this year off of 11-1 season. I was like 9-3. It's pretty good Indiana football, right?
Yeah, like, I think, did I have them as a win total over? Because
Maybe
their win total was,
7.5, 8.5, something like
no,
that.
it's either 8.5 or 9.5.
Yeah.
I had them going 10-2 or 9-3.
Okay.
What I had them going. I can't remember which one. I can't remember if I had them as a.
Probably 10 and
I,
2.
I did have them beating Illinois. I had them losing to before the season at Oregon and at Penn State.
Okay.
I think that's what I had for them.
Let me tell you where it gets real fun in the Big Ten.
Oh, I'm ready for this. I know where you're going with it too. Go ahead.
So, well, I mean, Illinois, they got 56% chance to go 9-3, 6-3. Not going to talk about them, but I felt like I should include them here. USC has a 55% chance to go 9-3, so basically the same as Illinois, except they would be 7-2 in conference. They would need some help from Ohio State or Indiana to somehow get in that championship game. USC at 9-3, with losses to Illinois, Notre Dame, and probably Oregon. Like those are all quality losses. But again, no wins to really hang your hat on except for Nebraska, right? So
Yeah. They wouldn't get in at that point.
yeah, so that'd be tough. Michigan. Michigan's got a 64% chance to win 9 games and go 7-2 in conference.
I know where you're going.
If they beat the Buckeyes for a 5th straight time and go 10-2 and 8-1, in this scenario, it would be Indiana at 9-0 in conference, Oregon 8-1, Michigan 8-1. Oregon gets the tiebreaker. Indiana and Oregon match up in the Big Ten championship game, but Michigan's 10-2 and 8-1 in conference. They don't have to play a Big Ten championship game. They're going to be in the playoff after a win over Ohio State.
Yeah,
for sure.
you'd have 4 teams, and you'd have 4 teams in the college football playoff for sure from the Big Ten.
And Ohio State would be in there too.
Yep.
On the other side, Washington.
Yep.
9-3, 6-3. They got a 48% chance of achieving that record, so 50-50 shot. If they upset Oregon that same week,
yep,
that Michigan plays Ohio State, they would be 10-2 and 7-2 in conference, and they would make a case for the college football playoff as well. So if both those things happen too, I haven't even talked about that. If both those things happen, you've got 5 teams in the Big Ten with at least 10 wins.
You know who's getting left out in that scenario, brother?
Oregon?
Yep.
Ooh, you're going to leave the bright uniform Ducks out?
Just like I said a second ago, man. They would be the one team out of all of those teams that wouldn't have a single win to hang their hat on. Not a single one.
Yeah.
To really hang their hat on above the others. If that was the case. If that shakes out that way, God, man, you want to talk about just beautiful chaos before this 12-team playoff ends. That would be some of it right there.
So in the scenario where they both win, Michigan and Washington both pull upsets in that the last week.
Yeah.
Indiana would play Michigan in the Big Ten championship game.
Wow. Yeah, I'm interested to see where we know where Ohio State fans and Michigan fans stand, but I would love to know where the rest of the country stands in regards to your thoughts on Michigan and Ohio State, that game this year, the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I talked to somebody the other day, and they were like, I mean, Ohio State's just going to clap Michigan's cheek. And I'm like, what? I mean, how can you say that at this point?
How many times did we hear that last year when they were 20-point favorites?
Yeah, it's just at this point, man, it's just does it feel that way like on paper and all that? Of course it does. But dude, I'll never, ever, ever again feel that way after what happened last year.
Yeah. In Buckeye Stadium. This is in Michigan this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Until I see it with my own eyeballs at this point, I can't. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's just an automatic win for Ohio State. No way.
All right, so those are crazy Big Ten scenarios. Let's get to the conference where it just means more, the SEC. According to Sagarin ratings, if you factor out the rest of the games, according to like who's going to win head-to-head, obviously the higher power-rated team, you're going to get the age-old SEC championship game that you predicted before the season started, Alabama versus Georgia. So they get to go at it again one more time in Atlanta, and Alabama will get to beat Georgia one more time in Atlanta. So that'll be fun. That would be Alabama at 11-1, 8-0 in conference. They got a 39% chance to achieve that. You've been on record kind of saying like they're not gonna. It's gonna be tough to get through this stretch still unscathed.
Yep.
But they have an 81% chance to get to that 10-win mark, to where they'll be in the discussion for the college football playoff. Georgia has a 31% chance to get 11 wins, so they would have to win out as well, same as Alabama. 74% chance to get 10 wins, so they'll be in that conversation. Then it gets interesting. You got Texas A&M, who's undefeated right now. And for them to get to 10-2 and 6-2 in conference, 76% chance for Texas A&M. So solid odds for them to get to that 10-win mark. Ole Miss, 59% chance to get to 10-2.
Dude, no matter before you move on, no matter what happens the rest of the year, this weekend is so huge for 2 of those teams you just mentioned. Like if Ole Miss could get this win on the road in Norman, and again, it would be hard for them to mess up at that point and lose multiple games down the stretch. Could they? Yeah, but like I don't think that that would be likely. Do you?
I mean, they win in Oklahoma. They get to host South Carolina, then the Citadel, then Florida, all in Oxford, and then they
They're not.
go at
They're not
Mississippi
losing.
State. Mississippi State's tough. I mean, they're tough this year, a tough out, and anything can happen in the Egg Bowl in Starkville.
Yeah, we've seen the inconsistencies with Lane to get that team ready week in and week out. Like we saw what almost happened to Wazoo. We saw what happened last year at Kentucky and all that stuff. But they for them to lose, for that they win this weekend, for them to lose 2 more games, I just don't see it. So
So
yeah, massive game for them, and obviously Oklahoma's schedule, what they've
yeah,
got going down the stretch. But the other one you mentioned was A&M, dude. If A&M goes into Baton Rouge and wins this game, and they're undefeated right now, like how are they losing? They're not losing 3 games down the stretch. They're not.
yeah, Georgia would still get in over A&M based on record versus common conference opponents.
If A&M and Georgia
A&M and
tie,
Georgia both have 1 loss in conference.
right? Yeah,
A&M right now, yeah, they win at LSU. They still got to get a bye week. Then they go on the road to Missouri,
yep,
and they
not easy.
still got to go on the road to Texas,
Yep.
and
But
then
you see what
South
I'm saying
Carolina.
though? Like they're
Yeah,
not losing. If they win this game at LSU, they're not losing 3 games. Like 10, that means that 10-2 is the worst they could do at that point.
hmm
They're in the playoff. If A&M wins this weekend, they're in the college football playoff. That's how big this game is for them. Obviously, we know what's on the right. What's on the LSU's in elimination mode now,
hmm
and they're in possible coaching hot seat mode as well. But yeah, it's just the scenarios of how big these games are now every single week for some of these teams and what it can mean for their future. Like again, like Texas A&M, if Ole Miss could pull it off at Oklahoma this weekend, you just mentioned their schedule. I can't see Ole Miss going worse than 10-2 if they would win this weekend at Oklahoma. You look at Oklahoma's schedule, if they drop a game at home this weekend with what they've still got going down the stretch, like how just tough as their schedule is going down the stretch, like, who does give me Oklahoma? Do you have Oklahoma pulled up by any chance? I know I'm putting you on the spot. I can keep talking to give you some time.
No, they got Ole Miss this weekend, obviously at home. Then they
Yep.
got at Tennessee bye week,
That's what
at
it is.
Alabama, Missouri, LSU, both at home.
Yeah, I mean, dude, murderer's row. So if they
They've
lose
got
at home,
Kelly Ford's got them. If they get to 9 wins, they will have a really they'll be in the at-large conversation with how tough their schedule is. They've got a 59% chance to win at least 9 games.
so again, that was the team that I've been saying for weeks that no matter whether you like it or not, has nothing to do with SEC bye, whatever. That's fine if you believe that. The I do think that there's 2 teams, Oklahoma being one of them, if they were to go 9-3, that they would still have a not like like last year, let's go lobby to the media for our case that we should be in, like South Carolina did last year and Ole Miss did last year, and we all knew that those 2 teams weren't they were not going to get in. I know Alabama was doing it too, but like that was like they at least were like right there in the discussion possibly
Mhm.
to get in at that time. Like if Oklahoma were to go 9-3 with the schedule that they just played and also a non-conference win over Michigan, like included in that as well, like they would have a legit discussion. Obviously, it depends on what happens around them.
Here's where it gets fun. 9-3 Oklahoma going up in the at-large pool against 10-2 Michigan.
Michigan is how many losses right now? 2?
They got 2 losses to one's
So they would have a
Oklahoma,
win. They would have a win over Ohio State.
but they'd have 1 loss to Oklahoma.
One loss to Oklahoma. That's one of those scenarios. I'm glad I get to sit here and just bash Ward Manuel in the committee and not be on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough. I mean, it'd be hard, man, to sit there and look at Michigan though, right after if they just beat the Buckeyes and say, no, you just went 8-1 in conference play, beat Ohio State, but you're not getting in.
Yeah.
It would probably be another team. You know what I mean? It'd be somebody else in that scenario. Like we just said, hey, like we just said, what if it's Oregon? 9-3 Oklahoma is going to get in over 10-2 Oregon in that scenario. Should. I'm saying wait, we would vote them in that scenario, I think. But what would the committee do? I have no idea. But that would be that scenario. Give me again that big matchup where game day's at this weekend because they're still right in the thick of it, bro. And so is Tennessee. Yeah. Okay. Let's start with Tennessee. Tennessee now has 2 losses. They got a bye week this week. No, they're at Kentucky. And then they get Oklahoma. Tennessee goes 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Which they have a 13% chance to go 10-2. They got to win out.
they got to win out. So they got Kentucky.
They're favored. I mean, they're power rated favored in all of the rest of their games.
Yeah.
Kentucky, Oklahoma, New Mexico State, at Florida, and Vandy at home.
Again, man, the Tennessee's only lost 2 home games in the last like 3.5 years, both of them to Georgia.
They love playing.
So
at
they would
Florida,
have to
too.
do something at home that they haven't done before really under Josh Heupel, which is lose.
They love playing at Florida.
Well, we'll see what they do underneath that. Was it Billy Gonzalez or something, whatever his name is, the new wide receivers coach, just the interim coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But Mizzou and Vandy. I know Mizzou's got obviously at Vandy. Then I know they got to play Oklahoma still. They got to play A&M still. Yikes.
So Vandy's benchmark to get in the at-large discussion is 9 wins. With how tough their schedule is, that he's got a 50% chance to get 9 wins or better. 17% chance to win 10.
I'm sorry if this offends anybody. Let's just be real here. They're not getting in at 9-3. They're not.
They would have 2 more losses. Say they lost at Texas and at Tennessee. That would still give them wins over Missouri and Auburn and Kentucky, along with LSU.
And LSU. Still don't see it.
Yeah.
Still just don't see that. I think they have to be 10-2.
Missouri, on the other hand, has a 62% chance to get 9 wins.
I don't see them either. 9-3. I think they have to be 10-2.
Yeah. They've got at Vandy, bye week, A&M, Mississippi State, at Oklahoma, at Arkansas.
At Arkansas, yeah.
I mean, Arkansas here. Pop Petrino has a. He's got so many opportunities to just crush so many souls.
That is the team, man. Our boy, old Freddie. Like, we know he loves him. So Petrino, I do too. They're sitting. He is absolutely sitting in the role to be just the boogeyman, bro, to these programs. Like, week in and week out, that team's going to get buckets on you. They're going to score. They're going to score in bunches on everybody. They just did it at Tennessee, and they just did it to A&M. They're going to do it this week to Auburn too.
Dude,
Auburn's going to have to do something.
Except Notre Dame.
Do what? All right,
except Notre Dame.
That's true. That's true. The Auburn's going to have to do something this week under Hugh Freeze that they're allergic to doing, which is scoring, like over 24 points.
17, 10, 10, 17.
Yep.
That's their point totals in their last 4 games. And they're SEC.
Offensive guru head coach.
Quarterback whisper, people once said one time.
Yes, that did happen. That did happen. Oh man, he gave us hell for that. Yep. But I mean, dude, he's not doing anything. Like, that's literally what was going on at the end of the Gus Malzahn era. Malzahn was dubbed as this offensive guru, but his teams couldn't score points. And Kevin Steele's defense was the reason that they were in any of the games they were in.
Mm-hmm.
For about a 2-year period there.
Yeah.
That's what's going on now. DJ Durkin's defense is the only reason Auburn was in the game against A&M. The only reason they were in the game against Oklahoma. The only reason they were in the game there in the second half still with Georgia at that point. Because Auburn's offense just decided to stay in the locker room at halftime of that game.
Yep.
Same thing last week in the second half. Just don't get it. But if you had to say right now, give me 4 teams from the SEC. If you say 4 have to make the college football playoff as of today, which 4 make it?
Easy. Alabama, Georgia, A&M, Ole Miss.
Ooh, Ole Miss.
Yep.
Okay. Does that mean
I think if they lose this week, I mean, they're still in really good shape.
Who would
they would have to lose at Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl, and I would knock them out. We've seen Ole Miss lose crazy games before, like last year. They are bound to do it, but right after this Oklahoma game, they got 3 home games.
Okay, I got a hot take for you on that then. If Ole Miss is in the playoffs, he's not taking the Florida job.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I wouldn't think
hang
Florida
on,
would
hang
wait
on.
around.
Wait, but hang on. The transfer portal thing is in January now, right?
It is, but it's like right
But open a
before the
weekend of college,
semis.
but open a weekend of college football playoffs. If Ole Miss is 10-2, they're not getting a bye, so they're going to be playing on that Saturday, December the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to lose that game, it's still time. I mean, it's really only like what 2 weeks after SEC championship game. That'd be dicey. That'd be dicey. I'm sure Florida, if that's who they really want, and if they felt like they could get him, they would wait on him. But yeah, all the talk about him and that Florida job, if he makes the playoffs and Ole Miss makes the playoffs, I think it makes it. If he's even considering it, I have no idea if he is or not. But
Yeah.
if he is, that would make that much tougher in that scenario.
Have you seen K Ford's current most deserving college football playoff bracket yet?
No.
He's got Indiana as the 1 seed, Texas A&M is 2, Ohio State 3, Bama 4, all getting buys.
Okay.
He's got a first round matchup of USF at Georgia, Vandy at Miami.
Look at Vandy, bro. Diego Pavia taking on Carson Beck there in Miami. That'd be
How about this? Ole Miss at BYU.
Golly, there's certain places that I would love to see a home playoff game. Like Provo is one of them. That would be I just thought of that one. Like we've been talking about like a home playoff game in Lubbock.
Mm-hmm.
The Jones AT&T Stadium would be so sick.
Yep.
And I hope that they would literally, I'll just say it, wipe their ass, just like Josh Abbott said, with tortillas. Like they're banning tortillas. Nah, tortillas fly. They fly everywhere like they've never flown before.
Mm-hmm.
If they end up making a college football playoff, hosting a college football playoff game. But
Yeah.
Provo. Well, honestly, I'm just naming Big 12 schools. So home playoff game at Rice Eccles, awesome. Home playoff game at BYU and Provo would be awesome. Home playoff game at Jones AT&T Stadium. Yeah, all three of those would be incredible. And seeing an SEC team go to Provo and hey, kick that baby off at night. Give me like a 9 o'clock. Excuse me, I know Eastern time, Tyler. Give me a 9 Eastern, 8 Central. What is that? Like 6 o'clock kick Mountain time?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
No, they would.
It
would be on. They'd probably put that game on TNT, and they do noon Eastern, 10 a.m. local kick out there in Mountain Time, like they love to do. So,
bro, don't do that. Don't do that to us. They can't do that to us.
It's TV execs, man.
Hey, speaking of, when does BYU kick off this week against Iowa State? Did we look that up yet? We didn't. We've already bet against BYU this Saturday at Iowa State. Are we going against our trend of the Vampires? How they're just they always cover in night games.
I don't believe so. Let me check here. That game kicks off at 3:30 on Fox.
Okay, we're good.
So 2:30 local time out in Iowa. We should be good.
We're good.
I mean, if it gets close in the fourth quarter and that sun starts to go down, watch out for BYU making a comeback.
Yeah, for those that have no idea what we're talking about, Tyler looked up a trend when we first started this podcast, and we
I haven't even kept
BYU,
up with it either.
We've nicknamed BYU the Vampires because at that time it was like a crazy trend about how many times they covered the spread and win straight up when the game is going on, when the game kicks off at nighttime.
Yeah.
We know they're undefeated this year, so obviously that's taking place this year.
Sure.
And I think they went 10-2 in the regular season last year.
Yeah.
So they didn't lose a lot of games last year.
Yeah.
Definitely not at night. I think Kansas might have been one of the only times that they lost a night game last year, and we actually took Kansas in that game. But
I think that game's up to 3.5 now.
Dude, they saw ATB, the boys, give out Iowa State. The book started shaking.
They did. They started shaking.
Hey, by the way, Freddie had not listened to the pod yet.
Okay.
And he texted me this morning, and all it said was, I think it said, because he sent me some NFL things he was interested in, some plays, like some lines, and then it said college football ... Iowa State. All it said, and I said, "Don't worry, I already own it, brother."
Yeah,
2.5.
That last first round matchup in the bracket was Oklahoma at Georgia Tech. where the Jackets would most certainly be a home dog, and I would be betting my mortgage on Brent Pry.
Brent Pry. Well, Brent Pry.
Brent
Don't
Pry.
make your mortgage on
Brent
Brent
Key.
Pry.
Not Brent
Yeah.
Pry. Brent Key.
Brent Key. Yeah, as a dog, absolutely. And in a
Yeah.
playoff game,
Home dog. Whew. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be. How about a home playoff game at historic Bobby Dodd?
Crazy. Did you see what Todd Furman said today?
Oh, I can't imagine. What did he say?
Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up so I can get the most accurate description. But old Todd Furman, if you guys don't know Todd Furman, he's a betting analyst or something.
Former odds maker.
Yeah, Bet the Board podcast. It's not a podcast anymore. CBS Sports, all that stuff. He said he had a tweet that really caught on. Said college football parity is great until we get USF versus Georgia Tech in the first round and nobody watches. Tell me I'm wrong and tell me I'm an elitist, but the ratings won't lie. And
he get murdered for that.
Almost 5.5 million views on that tweet so far. Almost 2,000 replies. Yeah. It was
But here's the reality of that. There's a lot of people that would agree with him.
Sure.
And there's plenty of people that would disagree. That is I don't know if he actually thought about it when he pressed send on that tweet, but that was a perfect, almost like setting a line as an odds maker, your dream, which is get equal action on both sides. That is, I'm going to get equal action on both sides of the fence on this argument. There's going to be plenty of elitist type fans.
That
are fans of bigger brand teams that will agree with me on this. And there'll be plenty of fans that hate the bigger brand teams and the elitists that will disagree. Yes, that was a perfect tweet.
Yeah.
For that reason.
He did what he aimed to do. What else you got? Notre Dame 10-2, 74% chance to win out. Put them at the bottom of my notes here.
You want me to go there?
Yeah.
What I told you this morning?
Let's do it.
Anybody that's watching this right now, I would like to ask you this question, and because I asked myself this question. Honestly, I was talking to my dad about this. If you had to pick teams right now that you feel like okay, I got to put my hard-earned money for this team to win the national championship, how many teams would you pick before picking Notre Dame? If you haven't watched Notre Dame since the first 2 weeks, then you think that's a ridiculous question. There's a name for that. It's called you're a casual. But I answered that question to myself, and I maybe 3 to 4 teams is what I came up with.
And one of them, if anyone's been watching this live right now, one of the teams you told me you apparently they're going to think you hate because you've just been hating all over them this whole show.
Who's that?
Oregon Ducks, man. You don't want them you don't want anywhere near the playoff at 10-2.
No, actually, when I said 3 and then I said 4, and then the 3 that I would Alabama and Ohio State would be 2 that as of right now, but I don't feel confident necessarily in saying, because again, right now Alabama's struggle is of the giving up explosive runs. You better not have that as a struggle by that point in the season if you go against Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. No question. But Ohio State, Alabama are the main 2. After that, I can't sit here and say with 100% no doubt as of right this second that I think that A&M would beat Notre Dame again if they played again in a playoff game. There's a reason why that was a 1-point freaking game like it was when they played each other.
Indiana?
Maybe. That's the other one. I actually dropped Oregon from the discussion.
Okay.
I thought it was, for me, it was Ohio State, Alabama, Indiana, and Texas A&M as I see here today.
Georgia?
Nope.
Miami?
Nope.
You said Texas?
No. I said A&M.
Oh, okay.
A&M. Yeah, A&M would be the other one that I would. Now, again, some of those teams you just mentioned, Is it like is it like a guarantee? Oh, I think no doubt Notre Dame claps those teams' cheeks. No, I don't think that. But like, do I think like that? As I see here today, if they played on a neutral field this coming up Saturday in a playoff type scenario, who would I take to win the football game? I think I'd take Notre Dame against some of those teams that we just mentioned. Outside of the three that I think that I would have ahead of them as of right now. So if they just get in the playoff, bro, if they just get there, they're going to be a problem. There's a reason why that every power rating that you see has them where they're at. I
Yeah.
know power ratings don't win you national championships. I realize that. But I'm going to, again, like last year, Ohio State was power rated what they were power rated going into the playoff, coming off that loss to Michigan, and everybody going into the playoff. Ryan Day's going to be fired. Tennessee's going to beat them in that opening playoff game. But yet they were still a 7.5-point favorite, and that line never moved. And we know the rest was history after that.
Yeah, power ratings. I mean, Ohio State's 3 points better than everybody.
Yeah.
And then you've got Indiana, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Alabama all within a point and a half of each other, and then
I
another
haven't
2
even looked it up.
points.
So I haven't even looked at the power ratings, and that's literally every team except A&M that I just named.
And then another 2 points separates Alabama from Georgia. A&M's 11th in the power ratings. They're below Texas and USC.
So say that one more time.
Which part?
You said who's below Texas and USC?
A&M.
Interesting.
They're below Texas Tech.
Whew.
A&M is 11th in the power ratings. Right now, right now he has them as a 10-point underdog against Ohio State on a neutral.
That's a lot of points.
And he's got them as a 6-point underdog against Notre Dame on neutral, which I mean kind of lines up with what they were in Notre Dame Stadium. So haven't really moved that much, but I mean he's got USC as a 1-point favorite over A&M.
Yeah. Well, the hard, firm answer that I gave on this question was Notre Dame would be 3 in my mind right now. Of if I had to take teams in order with my own hard-earned money and say this is the team that I think they can win a national championship, how many teams would I name before Notre Dame? It was 2, as we see here today. So,
I don't know why I just don't do this.
What are you doing?
You got it on there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Hey, folks, that's called production. That's what we call that.
47 minutes into the show.
Love it. So yeah, I mean, there's the teams right there that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
As far as the power ratings were
I
concerned.
mean, it's power ratings. Obviously, we still got this team right here that's still power rated 20th.
Yeah. Hey, dude, look at the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Up there. Look at the Hawkeyes up there getting some love and a power rating. Interesting.
Yeah.
Florida State still there. Yikes.
Florida.
But I get it. Power rating's not a ranking.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting coming down this stretch, man. No doubt.
There's your most deserving.
Not surprised. Little surprised at A&M. I understand too. They take in margin of victory and different things like that.
But I mean, A&M's won a lot of close games so far.
Right. That's why that I think you sent me this earlier. Yeah, you did. You sent me this earlier, and that was the one that kind of surprised me. Knowing that A&M is power rated where they're power rated, like you said, they're a little lower, and they're most deserving. They're at 2. Like Alabama coming off of 4 straight wins against teams that I saw something today that said that 4 teams that Alabama just beat are a combined 23-1 outside of playing everybody not named Alabama up to this point in the season.
I think that shows you just how much that Florida State loss is weighing them down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they haven't really, I mean, they played really well. They just haven't they've taken care of business. They haven't done it in flashy, dominant ways.
No, they haven't.
They've just taken care of business. So I mean, they haven't beat anyone 63-10 like the number 1 team on this schedule. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of that too is the difference in the, competition overall, but, like,
Look
still,
at
they
look at
they they did beat the team that's currently looking at number 13 and most deserving 63-10.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the team they
Uh,
beat that bad.
Look at 6 and 7 here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were talking about a minute ago, like, BYU's climbing the list on all kinds of lists
And
right
look at
now, not
Illinois
just
even, like you
rankings.
just talked about, they got the best two-loss team is Illinois over Notre Dame.
Nah,
I
I
don't like to question Kelly that much, but whew,
yeah, I would need to know, I would need to know the answer to that one.
yeah.
And also too, again, doesn't most deserving take into an account the margin of victory
Yep.
and the margin of defeat?
Results-oriented measure of how the team has performed against its schedule relative to how the number 12 power rated team would be expected to perform against that same schedule.
The
So you
fact
talk
that
about
they
Notre Dame
lost
and Illinois playing common opponents. Notre Dame handled USC better than Illinois did at home.
yeah, and Illinois again lost by half a hundred to yeah, and Oregon did play that same team and lost by what,
10.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't question Kelly much either, but yeah, that one's interesting.
Yep. Got his progression on there. Whole he guys it does all the stuff. How do the AP poll voters do? AP poll rankings compared to most deserving rankings, overranked and underranked. He's got, I mean, because he's got Illinois so high, he's got him underranked in the AP. Tennessee way overranked, according to him. These teams kind of right in line with everything.
Yep.
It's where you want to be. So,
Yep.
and there's that bracket, a beautiful, beautiful bracket that we'll be talking about here in 2 weeks from tonight. Make sure y'all join us on X and YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We're breaking down the college football playoff rankings live as they come out.
And I'm good now, by the way. I'm gonna probably hop off here in a second and go hang with the lady that I'll greatly outkick my coverage with.
Go tend to your wife, huh?
That's right.
All right,
That's right.
man. It was good talking. Good little impromptu talk. We needed to do this because we just can't fit them into our live shows, or not our live shows, our regular episodes.
Yeah, just for those listening, right, our regular episodes, we do one Sunday that comes out on YouTube Sunday night, and it's on audio and YouTube. Obviously, first thing Monday morning. That's usually recapping the previous weekend's games, breaking down those games, any major storylines and stuff that's going on that happened over the week, coach firings, things like that. We also do our own ATB top 12 rankings. Hey, is that somebody's comment?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. Appreciate
User
that.
77288. Appreciate you tuning in, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. How'd you get that up there, by the way, like that?
Dude, production.
That's
He
what they
also gave
call it,
us
baby.
a salute. A
Yeah,
salute as we're
appreciate it.
signing off.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. That user 77288. You the man. Appreciate that.
I've,
The
I've been wanting to hop on too. And we might have to do this again next week or something like that. But I've been wanting to. I sent you all the photos, all the stuff we put out of the summer, the preseason predictions. We gotta own some of that good stuff and wear some of that bad stuff on those
yeah,
predictions.
dude. Well, I'll bring it. I'll do like what's his face there on 3 does. Like I'm going blank. Not Andy and Ari, but
JD.
yeah, JD Piquel.
Yep.
Like he literally like has like something like he acts like he's eating actual crow. Yeah. I may have some yard bird on a plate or something like that, some chicken, and I'll just act like
Ooh,
it's crow.
good
For
stuff.
there's a lot of crow. There's some good stuff, but a lot of crow gonna be
Yep.
eaten. We'll just go ahead and get this out of the way. Eating a lot of crow with just like the rest of the world would be eating when it comes to Clemson and Penn State and teams like that. But I will give you some credit. You got murdered for saying that you had Clemson going 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
And you got
Who are they
destroyed.
gonna lose to? Everybody.
Yeah, you got destroyed for that. And I have to admit, man, you couldn't have been more wrong. We're not going 9-3.
I know, dude.
But like even I thought you were kind of nuts for that. I'm not gonna
And
lie.
I'm also still ticked that I did not stand on my laurels with my original LSU prediction that you
Yeah.
said, dude, you
I talked
got
you out
to
of it.
change that.
Yeah, it was me. I talked you
I
out
think I
of
had
it.
him at 7-5, and I mean it's looking pretty good.
I think you had him 8-4.
Yeah.
I think you had him 8-4, and I was like, dude, you're nuts. They're not going 8-4.
You're like, you think this Ole Miss team's gonna be better? Yeah, I do think they're gonna be better.
And you told me who you thought they were going to lose to, and you said they're going to lose to Ole Miss. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And then when that game came around, I thought about that. I went, yeah,
Do I know Brian Kelly? Do I know Brian Kelly?
you do. You were in his head, bro.
He must be watching. But appreciate you guys all tuning in, man. We'll be back. We're recording tomorrow, so we'll be back on
Thursday morning.
Thursday on YouTube and Spotify and Apple with our Week 9 preview. We're gonna get best bets out on that. We've been doing pretty good this year. I mean, we're both over 52.6% or whatever you need to be.
I'm 29 and 24 on the year, whatever that is.
Yeah, and I am 20 I think I'm like 30, 25 and 2, something like that.
Hey, by the way, I'm 29 and 24, but if we want to count the only idiots bet college teasers bet that I made week 0, I'm 30. And let's see, behind on the show.
As an Indy fan, I put 5 ahead of Indy, and 2 of those are because we lost them already. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna get that. I mean,
no, I totally,
just because you lose them in week 1 and 3 doesn't mean you're gonna lose them in week 17 and 18.
I agree, but what he said there is very fair, very fair. But good stuff, man. This was fun. I love these type episodes where we're just literally just shooting the shit, just talking ball.
I can just relax in my chair and I don't have to edit anything.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost like me and you just talking on the phone again, or if I'm there kicking it with you and we're drinking some bourbon in your basement, and just kick back, just talking some ball, man. It's fun.
Yep.
Next time we do this, I am going to pour a little of that brown water over some ice and talk it with you. But let's try to do this more often, man. At least once a week. Just hop on.
I might have to join in with you. Yeah, we'll be back. We're talking about A&M LSU, Mizzou Vandy, Ole Miss Oklahoma, a couple under the radar games. We got some upsets that I got cooking with my upsets this week. So tune in tomorrow and Thursday for the upsets of the week. We've only missed 1 week hitting upset money line picks.
Upset alert. We each give an upset alert pick every single week. There's only been 1 week where we both missed. So if you think about that, taking underdogs outright money line, if you just blindly take whoever we give you up to this point, you're extremely profitable. Extremely up to this point. I mean, I'm just thinking some off the top of my head. Last week you had Arizona State over Texas Tech. That's a 6.5 point dog that won outright. I had Mississippi State over
something on the money line. Yeah,
I had Mississippi State as a 6.5 point dog earlier in the year at home against
USF
Arizona
over
State.
Boise.
USF over Boise week 1. I had another one. Oh gosh, because I think I went 3 for 3 right out of the gate.
We started off 4 for 4.
We did. You hit the 4th one. I went 3 for the first 3, and then you hit that 4th one for us. I'm trying to remember who the 3rd one was. It was another, again, like 6 or 7 point dog, whatever dog that won outright. Nah, I can't remember. But either way, the point is we've done really well on that this year. So just got to keep it rolling, man.
I'm looking at the week 3. It might have been Georgia Tech over Clemson. That probably wasn't it.
No,
I know you picked Arkansas State, or maybe had a lean towards Arkansas State. I'm not sure on that week. Week 4.
The only weeks where I think where we both missed, I know I had I had East Carolina. I just took a shot with East Carolina against BYU that week. That was stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we would have had an episode this past week, mine would have been Arkansas over A&M, and they almost got there.
Yeah.
I know almost doesn't count, but they covered the spread.
But we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
So everybody's tune in, subscribe, make sure you share the show, share the channel, X, Instagram, TikTok, follow us on there. Appreciate you guys tuning in on TikTok right now. Sorry we can't get Lance's video working. I don't know what's going on there, but you can still hear him, and he's still bringing all the ball knowledge to you. So again, appreciate you guys. Make sure you share it. Appreciate all you guys commenting and everything like that. It's been a blast. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow.